We're live.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to the Vulnerable Life, where we are going to be unapologetically us. We are going to bring you inside our world of complete madness. But it's a world filled with love and authenticity and so much more. Yeah. So I'll quickly introduce myself. I'm Leanne Starks. I am the proud mother of 3 amazing children. I've sold real estate for 24 years, and it has created a life for me to be able to be a present mom, not perfect, but present, and show my kids all kinds of love and affection and all the things that we should do as moms. So I'm excited to be here, and welcome to live broadcasting. There's a fly. Introduce yourself.
My name is Alexis. I am the wonderful daughter of Leanne here. I have been by this woman's side forever. We are going to laugh. We are going to cry. We are going to scream. We are just 2 fiery women that have a message that we want to get out. But yeah, I am currently a head JV basketball coach at Wyoming High School. So shout out Cowboys, my first year coaching officially. I'm so excited. I have a great group of girls. So please, whenever you guys get the chance, come out, come support. And then again, another thing that we'll be talking about is basketball. She has 3 kids right now that are in deep right now basketball, and it's crazy. Don't you think it's going to be
crazy? This is going to be an insane season, and you'll see us all over Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky.
Yeah,
and thereabout. I mean, that's Lexi. This is her first year coaching.
No,
she called me last night and said, "Mom."
Okay, vulnerable moment here.
I don't know what I'm doing. I need inbounds plays, and I need out of bounds plays, and I need. I guess there aren't out of bounds. I guess it is out of bounds plays.
No, absolutely.
Right?
I absolutely no. I need out of bounds plays. Okay,
yeah. So clearly, I'm playing outside the line.
If you have any basketball knowledge watching this,
yeah,
please.
For sure. So with all things considered, this is what we are and what we're about, and we're going to make sure that that you guys are along for the ride.
Yeah. So should we go ahead and start talking about our first kind of subject about with this stream right now?
Yeah. So one of the things that you're gonna hear us talk about continuously is authenticity, and I think you'll agree that there's often distractions in this world that you don't expect. There's distractions from a standpoint of life being thrown at you when you least expect it. There's distractions and pressure. I think that's for me. I feel the pressure of perfection through social media. I feel like we are in a world where being perfect is something that you are expected to do,
like
right?
Kind of like bred to be, right? Like
yeah,
some certain aspects, right?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about what that looks like and how to maneuver through it, and single mom,
watching a single mom,
guiding your kids, making good decisions and bad decisions, which is all part of my walk of why we're here. So, one of the things that we want to do is really connect with our audience. We want you guys to comment. We want you guys to give us feedback. We want you guys to make suggestions relative to topics and things that we that we want to talk about. So first and foremost, one of the things that I think is directly connected to authenticity is self-love. And Alexis and I have made the decision to start a book club, which we will announce at the end of the podcast. You guys, we want you to read the book and come on the journey and do all the things that that will level you up in your life, and we're gonna do it right alongside you. So I don't know, Lex, what do you think as far as what's your definition of self-love?
Gosh, while you ask that question, I am still learning how to do self-love. You guys,
We all are.
But the definition for me is being proud of myself, even when I have days that nobody else is, right? And I feel when people feel like, well, I feel when people are just crashing down. I've had a lot of those days already with basketball. You know, I've had tough days with coaches and even with the girls, right? So just being proud of yourself, loving yourself, seeing yourself in a different way that I think other people might not see, in a uniquer type of way. Because I'm unique, right? I'm very loud. I'm very outgoing. I'm very, you really can't kind of touch me kind of thing. Thanks to her, she's definitely taught me how to be a strong, loving, self-loving, independent woman. And I think if you don't have self-love, you can't expect somebody else to love you. So I think that's another thing, is with the self-love comes with, being able to do it and finding and knowing that it's okay to love yourself.
I think
right?
For me, if I can be completely vulnerable for a second, that's not one of my strengths. Self-love isn't one of my strengths because I got my value out of the love I gave my kids.
Yeah.
And not that you shouldn't do that, because I think if we're afforded the blessing and opportunity to be a mom, that nothing else comes before that. But what comes with that is you can't be good to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And not be good to yourself. And that's been a really hard lesson for me.
Mm-hmm.
You've watched me struggle with that.
Right? Yeah. And with her, in her instances, she is always putting people in front of her own feelings. And I think that's where she gets caught up in trying to find herself, right? Because she's so invested into everybody else. And when she tries to find different ways of investing herself in her, it's very almost unnatural, I would say, because it's not what you're used to.
Well, and to spin off of that a little bit, I was in a therapy session recently, and my therapist said to me, when I ask you if you can make a bucket list for Alexis, can you? And I said, yeah, I know what she loves. I know where she likes to go. I know what she likes to do. She said, can you do it for Chandler? And I was like, yeah, I could. I could do it for Griffin too. And she goes, now stop for a second. Could you make yourself a bucket list? And I was like,
you can't do it.
I don't even really know what I like. I don't know what makes me happy. I don't know those things. And that was really eye-opening for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I know I like to travel, but I don't have a plan to go to all these places in my head that I think I should visit. Well, why not? Why isn't that a list for me? Why aren't those things that I should be able to do at some point and treat myself to? And that's because I don't know how to do that. So I'm learning, though, you guys. I'm learning. It's so much fun. There are really hard conversations, but I'm learning. So it's going to be part of our journey.
Yeah, learning right now, and not even just kind of how to take care of yourself, but within taking care of yourself, I think shortening the circle, closing that circle of just kind of life around you. You need, especially in this life, in today's day, you need a very close, tight-knit circle of people you can trust, you can lean on, and
which requires boundaries.
Yeah,
right. Boundaries that I don't. Again, we're pointing out all the shit that I'm not good at, and that's boundaries is one of them.
And not just you, I too, and I think we both have.
It's the nature to want to love everybody and include everybody,
take care of everybody,
and not everybody is equipped to love the way we love, right?
And appreciate what we give them. I think that's another thing is we fall short. Is we have a lot of people in our lives. For some reason, we attract a lot of these people that don't appreciate us and what we do for them, right? And I heard something the other day, and I'm not going to quote it because I don't know word for word, but it was like something like if I fall, if I, put my hand on the fire, right? And I leave it and I leave it and I leave it. I keep getting burned. There's no boundaries. I have to put the boundary around my hand at the fire, taking it off that way. And then, once you take it off, I also think the fear of it healing, the fear of moving on, the fear of what those boundaries will create, the relationships that might be kind of affected by it.
But I heard why. I heard why that's an issue. It's an issue because when you are broken, this is from Mel Robbins this morning. And if y'all don't listen to Mel, go listen to Mel.
She's definitely an inspiration for what we're doing.
She's the reason behind what we're doing, no question. But this morning she talked about I'll give you the specific example. She had a woman call in and say, "Why can't I stop looking at my ex's social media?
Ooh.
It's been 7 years."
Oh my God.
And Mel was like, "What? 7 years?" She's like, "Okay, well, first of all, you have an addiction problem because your fire is set by that negative energy, and that's an addiction, the toxicity. You got it." And she was like, "Go block everything he is on. Go block it all." And while they were live on the podcast, she said, "Can somebody search for me and see if you block somebody on Facebook? Can you still see their stuff?" And the answer is no. Once you block them, they can't see you, you can't see them, and you've set a boundary that allows you to move on. So it goes back to your point of putting the hand on the. She kept putting her hand in the fire, like multiple times a day, and she was intentionally hurting herself. So,
and I think that's another cool thing to hit on is the self-sabotage, right? We almost self-sabotage.
Guys, I am good at a lot of things. Self-sabotage. I'm a master. I'm a master. So we will get to
the self-sabotage, right? That's a whole other segment for another day.
We don't have enough time.
Again,
but it's recognizing it.
Yes, right.
And then you have to recognize the behavior that leads you to the self-sabotage and stop doing those things. And that's really, really, really hard, especially when you love somebody.
Yeah, and kind of bouncing off of loving somebody, right? It's to the point now where, you wish when you ask them of something, right, and they don't do it, and you keep asking them over and over, and that's your expectation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why are we asking someone to do something that we know is not capable of reaching?
Well, because once they refuse to meet you where you are, you don't really need to know anything else. That should kind of be the end of the road.
Well, I also kind of feel like we're setting them up for failure, right? Like if we're expecting them to do something that
they're not capable
that we know at this point that they're not capable of doing, why do we keep, as women, as people, do we keep going back to those people that just don't deliver? I think that's one thing we are big on is delivering. Be a man of your word, a woman of your word. Be there for me, for us, for whoever you love. I think that's one thing that we are so big on.
Well, and you have to recognize someone else's trauma or shortcomings, insecurities, and again, if that person has those and you keep asking them for things they're not capable of, you set yourself up for failure. So we're bringing this up to you. It might seem a bit random. We're bringing it up to you because it's something that I'm faced with personally right now, and I'm working my way through it. And please know that you're going to see parts of us that aren't perfect. You're going to see the mistakes that we made relative to the self-sabotage in the relationships and all the things that come along with this. So genuinely, we want to go on this journey and show our audience it's okay.
It's okay to not be okay.
It's okay
to not be perfect. It's okay to fall on your face. It's okay to fall on your ass. Like, I think we're in a world now is people outside world are so judgmental and so just nitpicky,
Yeah,
just with everybody, right? Like I feel there isn't enough allowance, I guess,
for sure. And I
be
think
imperfect.
the other thing, I just wanted to make sure, we had some people that were on our live, and there were some comments, and I wanted to make sure I had everything lined up. But I think for me, Lex, as you know, um, one of the things I'm learning how to undo is giving access to my heart, because I love hard. I assume everybody I come in contact with loves the same way I do. And that very, very, very difficult lesson is just the simple fact that that's not the case. So, those are life lessons, things that we have to.
Just kind of go through it. Right now, I think you're kind of struggling because you're really kind of by yourself. You're really figuring it out by yourself, and a lot of other people have, a partner, or we don't really have a lot of friends. So when I tell you guys, this is we're
it,
mother and daughter,
and then there's Joy and Alexis.
Yes,
too.
I hope you guys are watching this.
Joy and Alexis, they are.
You guys will be on here.
Don't worry, there's an episode for y'all.
Yeah, seriously.
But they are people who walked through their own fire and then walked through fire with us, and they came into our life through basketball, which you guys are going to see a lot of that. Most of our circle is sports related, and that's just the nature of how it works. Yeah.
Hi, girls.
Oh, hi, Alexis. What's up? So, Alexis, while I have your attention for a quick minute, if you could give us one topic of discussion, and it could be real estate, it could be the depths of being a mom. You're pregnant, you've got a little one, and you're pregnant, and you're selling real estate, and all of those things. So we'd love to get your feedback and kind of know what we want to know, what our audience wants to hear, so we can connect with you guys. Back to what we were talking about, and Alexis and Joy, we've talked about this a lot, but the boundary thing, setting those boundaries so you don't keep putting your hand on the fire, is something that I find very, very difficult to do. And listen, I mean setting boundaries in my own people. I mean setting boundaries in my business. You guys, last night, I got a text message at 12:33 a.m. from a client asking me if I had enough brochures at the open house this past Sunday. 12:33 a.m.
Like, why aren't you asleep?
Well, I was.
Like, what do you?
I was, because I had an ultrasound this morning to make sure I'm not
But
dying.
my thing is, he couldn't have waited till the next morning. She couldn't wait till this morning. She couldn't have waited 8 hours to text you about brochures.
From past Sunday. So anyway, it's a boundary thing, right? Like, no, I'm not going to text you at 12:30 in the morning, mainly because I'm asleep. But if I'm awake,
if I'm awake at 12:30, it's not because I'm doing business.
It's not, and you don't have any business in my phone at 12:30.
At 12:30.
No.
Listen here, baby.
No. Yeah.
No,
So
that's funny.
yeah, I don't know. We do like to have fun, so
Yeah,
you guys
like,
are gonna.
Like I said, you guys are gonna hear a lot of things that you won't expect to come from us.
Yeah.
You'll hear. I mean, seriously, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be adventurous. It's gonna be really special. I think it's really special to us. But
Yeah. So Joy says we have to be able to balance things. Balance is. How do we do the life balance thing, y'all? How does that work? I mean, at some point you have to shut down. You have to stop for a minute, and that as a mom is really hard.
Let's talk about what it looks like if we don't stop, right? Like if we don't settle down or put it down for just a couple of seconds, right? Let's talk about what that looks like mentally, what it looks like physically. Because some people, the stress can kill people, of not being able to stop and just take a breath and have time for yourself. That's one thing she's really bad at is making time for herself just to
Well, let's share with them what's happening right now.
go ahead.
You know, I for over a week now, I can't finish a meal. I haven't been able to eat. I go into basically a doubled over position of pain in my abdomen. And so I dealt with it for a week until Sunday night. I was like, I almost took myself to the emergency room. And I don't have a diagnosis yet. I had an ultrasound this morning and all kinds of blood work done yesterday. So we'll wait to see what they have to say. But I'm pretty sure I know what's happening. But we'll see. I'll get answers tomorrow morning, and we'll deal with whatever that looks like. But I know in my heart that part of this is a direct result of me not taking care of myself and being stressed. And I take care of myself. I eat well. I've dropped 35 pounds. I'm working out all the time. I'm doing all the things. But
we gotta get that right.
Here. And I gotta get that right.
That is the biggest challenge for both of us, right? We are both very different situations, but we are both right now at a point in our lives where we're trying to figure out what the fuck to do. I just started coaching basketball, that's been my dream for since I can remember. But now it's learning how to navigate. I'm JV, it's Wyoming basketball. So you guys that live in the Cincinnati area know what Wyoming basketball looks like. I mean, it's a challenge right now. So navigating through that, driving 45 minutes to work every day in a different city is tough. But making it happen, I think that's one thing we're really good at is just making it happen. If you guys could count how many times we just had to make it happen, you guys would be insane. You guys are like, how the hell are you here? But back to the original point, dealing with the different aspects and just this new chapter. I mean, she's 48, I'm 23. We're in very totally different, sessions of life, but are still dealing with the same thing. What is it now? Newly divorced, she's finally on her own. Great, situation. So that for her has been very trying. I'm in a relationship trying to figure out how the married life goes, right? Like trying to figure out as a woman what I can do to elevate my spouse, right? And now she's trying to figure out what she can do to elevate herself. So just trying to figure out life. It's hard, man. It's definitely a challenge. And if you don't have people like Joy and Alexis in your circle, it's very, very.
And when we talk about our circle, those two are like, along with you and the boys.
Yeah.
That's our, Granny and Papa. That's our circle.
Yeah.
And so forever grateful. I also, since Joy and Alexis are on here, you talk about balancing all of these challenges that are just life. That's before you throw the real estate market in there. And for those of you who don't know, I'm 24 years in the market. Joy and Alexis are fairly new. Alexis has been around for 3 years. What we're experiencing right now is not going to be easy. There's nothing easy about where we stand from a real estate perspective in today's market. Next year, we're going to be faced with an election year, which no matter what side of the fence you stand on, it's a complete mess right now. Interest rates are higher than they've been in many, many years. We'll see them come down. It's still a good time to buy, but people were used to the last couple years when you put your house on the market and everybody came out of the woodwork. You had 9 offers and all this. That's not today. Today is very much where we were pre-COVID, and so setting those expectations is very important for us as agents right now. Not only for our clients, but for ourselves, because, as the market changes, so does our income, and so does the amount of time we have to put in. Guys, at the end of the day, during COVID, a lot of people decided to get in the real estate business because they were at home watching HGTV and they saw people, oh, I can show 3 houses and they pick one. Guys, that's not what we do. That is not what real estate is. That is not reality. And what we do is very difficult. But you also face those challenges. It's just like social media in our lives, forcing us to be perfect. You watch HGTV, and like I said, they I don't know, they're shown 3 houses and they have to pick one. It's not reality. And the responsibility that comes with the real estate market for our clients it's huge. So you'll be hearing us talk a lot about that because things are changing very, very quickly, like as we speak. Rapidly. So right now things are changing. So, but we're adjusting and we'll take you along that ride with us.
Can we just kind of tap into just what it is to be a mom? I mean, I obviously don't have any kids, but I know that you can kind of touch on that and just give a little bit of advice. I know being a single mom for 25 years, let's just put that out there. It's hard, and having to deal with literally 3 babies by herself, and currently still doing it, right? 23, 18, 14. I mean, she's almost done, guys. She's almost done.
Yeah.
But can you just kind of go through?
It's a good time to date me.
Guys, listen, single, ready to mingle.
Just kidding.
Hi, Shona.
Shona, what's up? I got the opportunity to spend an hour on the phone with her the other day. Talk about a single mom that does it all. She's killing it. She's the one. She's part of that circle too, for sure. So being a mom, well, all 3 of you can chime in on this one because we're all 3 of us are still doing the mom thing. I think being a mom for me has been the greatest gift by far of my entire life.
She says that all the time, guys. I don't believe her. No, I'm just kidding.
It's the greatest gift ever. And I wouldn't change anything about it other than the times that because look how, I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change that decision I made. And I love who and what all 3 of you are. And so, I think the amount of love that you can feel for your kids was not something I ever expected until they set you in my arms. And I was like, oh my God, this is what everybody's been talking about. And so I think for you specifically, they laid you in my arms and you were immediately my ride or die, my best friend, my whole world. I mean, Lex, at one point we were flying to New York to get your hair done because we couldn't find anybody in Cincinnati to manage it.
No, okay, just a little bit like time out on that. When I told my boyfriend that the first time, he literally thought that I was lying to him.
No,
he was like, oh, okay.
We flew to New York.
Literally every month. Or not every month, every like 8 months or something.
Yeah. So I think that's part of it. I think being a mom to, I'm going to do a broad statement here, but being a mom to your kids is so special, but then you level it up. Again, everybody on this chat right here will recognize being a mom to athletes. So now you have kids who are competing at the highest level, who you love unconditionally and will kill somebody over, even in a gym. That's me.
A few times over the years.
Yeah.
She's definitely had her fair share.
Sometimes I have to watch from the parking lot.
Yeah,
until I learned how to put the disguise on it, Turpin.
Oh my God.
Or we were
okay, can we do a story time on that real quick? So literally this freshman year,
Deshauna said I got put out in
Memphis.
Not a place you want to get put out in either.
But we were at literally this past year, Chandler's senior year. He had like 103-degree fever, 2 double ear infection. Like it was bad. So he gets hit real hard on one of the fouls, like he did all game. Literally, all she says was, "That's a foul," and whatever ref. If he ever watches this, he knows what I'm talking about. The ref said, literally looked at her, said, "That was you." And we looked at her. She looked at him. He looked at her. He was like, "You're gone." We were like, so. Long story short, I just catch a glimpse of somebody walking in the gym. I look and I type DC. I'm like, look at her. She's got a hat down to her nose, a fat ass sweatshirt, and some like saggy ass sweatpants. I'm like, so I call her. She walks all the way up to the top of the bleachers. I'm like, what are you doing? So I'm in incognito. I can't be made. I said, girl, bye. If you don't
Watch the rest of the game. It was fun.
Unconditional love for the children.
Yeah.
Definitely something she showed.
Yeah, you gotta. If you're gonna put me out, you gotta put me all the way out, or I'll
Yeah, no, she
I'll
definitely
resurface.
She will get her money's worth.
So I think that's really difficult when you love your kids like that, though. That doesn't have anything to do with any ref or anything. But my baby was out there at 103-degree fever, fighting for his life, and got no love. But he's doing all the things now. Everything is coming full circle. But I think being a mom, back to what your question was, I think it's the most rewarding and the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Because one of my shortcomings as a mom is I don't like to say no. I don't like to say no. I like to, yeah. That was at West Claremont, right?
Because Click got put out. Okay.
Click got put out. I got put out.
Another story time, right? We were playing M&D my senior year at West Claremont, and I don't remember exactly what happened. I just know me, Jasmine, and the point guard, I'm not going to say names, were like in a little cluster. Like it was all game, right? So at one point, she had enough of watching me get fouled, Jasmine get fouled. I mean, and so she said something, man, and it pissed whatever ref that had my game off, and she was out. My head coach got ejected. I think Jasmine got ejected. No, it was bad. It was all of them.
We were on the parking lot together. It was fun.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
And Deshauna was never, she always comes along and supports. So much love to you for that. But it's the hardest thing you ever do, along with being the best thing. And I think that's where balance, Alexis, you talk about balance as a mom, and that's really hard. And then when somebody from the outside does your kid wrong, guys, there's not much else that sends me through the roof, like to Mars. I go all the way. I go all the way to Mars because
this woman should act the way she do with one of her kids. Look, and I'm not a mom, right? Like, so I'm sure when I have my own kids, I'll be the same way. But this one here, baby, listen, I've never seen a woman fight for her kids the way she did. And when I mean physically fight for her kids, grown ass men fighting for her kids.
I have a video I'll share with y'all one time. And there was a guy just recently. We were in Columbus, and yeah, for sure, Stratosphere's right. Shauna.
Yes, that's a perfect word.
Guy stood underneath the basket while Griffin was shooting free throws, and was talking crazy to him. And I was like, called the 13-year-old kid an asshole. I'm like, ooh, you're big time, buddy. Good job. And he then said some off-the-cuff things to me, and I just sort of looked at him like, you're a moron. But I got my 2 cents in after it was all over.
She's really watering this story down because that's not what happened. You want me to tell you what really happened? I'm gonna tell you what really happened. After he didn't even get to say the whatever thing she's talking about. After he called my little brother an asshole, when I tell you, she was nose to nose with this little Miami coach. And when I mean nose to nose, like Lady and the Tramp eating spaghetti nose to nose. So don't listen to her, y'all, because I'm gonna give you the real. She was in that man's face, getting ready to go off. So, but again, I ain't never seen a woman do that over a child.
Yeah, Mama Bear for sure. I should probably get it tattooed across my forehead because so people could be warned. At least they could be warned that I was coming. Like Mama Barely, we'll just like let her be your thing.
Oh my God, can we go to the story about at United the Hoops when I was coaching and not ref? So
I really do. Let me preface this by saying there are a lot of referees in our city who I absolutely love and are good friends of mine. There's one or two that just shouldn't be doing it. So,
well, one or again watering it down. But anyway,
maybe 5 or 6.
So I was coaching Griff. Long story short, we were in this United Hoops. Shout out Anthony Render. He runs the whole thing in Dayton. It's a great just little league from I think 6th to high school, 6th grade high school.
Yeah, it's a good situation.
So last year I was coaching and we had gotten beat. It was a close game and my kids weren't getting any kind of calls. So, I exchanged a few words with the ref, whatever.
Respectfully.
Female ref, literally. Like I didn't say
respectfully, you weren't.
Until it got to the point where I needed to be.
But then the game was over.
Remember,
we
were literally
ended.
walking off the court.
And I walked over to the score table
to talk to Ren.
To talk to Ren. Totally unrelated.
And she thought that she was saying something about her, so they start going at it. In my head, I'm like, first of all, it's my mom. I'm not going to talk to her. I mean, we start getting into it, and then she turns around and says, mind you, we're walking away. She turned back and says, well, that's why you can't coach.
That's what this ref said to
and
my daughter.
Before she could get the period at the end of the sentence, I see. Who, her? I said, oh, God. I said, we are in front of a bunch of all these little kids. We got to go. But that's just another example of she don't fuck around with her kids.
No, and don't say anything because here the challenge is, Lexi was at Anderson initially, graduated from West Claremont, and went on to play college basketball, and now is in a coaching position where I'm going to have to find a way to sit in the stands and be quiet. Chandler was at Cup Cap and graduated from Anderson, and now he's playing football at Mount St. Joe.
Basketball?
No, he's playing basketball, actually.
Try the football thing, okay?
Basketball. We're back to basketball, y'all. Come to Mount St. Joe, watch him play. And then we've got Griffin, the baby, who Griff's a stout 6'8" monster and growing at 14. So he is playing at Newport High School, and Newport is going the rankings just came out. Newport's number 1 in Kentucky right now, preseason. They have a really, really tough schedule, and there's a lot of people who didn't want him in Kentucky again. So or didn't want us in Kentucky again.
I was just getting ready to say,
We're loved in
Kentucky loves
because we live in Ohio and send our kids to Kentucky.
Well, we left and then came back, and it's just a whole
anyway. So we're at Newport, and man, if you guys have not seen Taylor Kinney play, you need to come watch them. These kids are going to be absolutely insane. So Taylor and James and DJ and Jabari and Noah and Amate and Griff are going to.
They're going to blow the state of Kentucky up, I think. I think it's going to be really, really tough. I don't think there's any team in Kentucky, in my opinion.
But it's going to be a challenge.
Oh, God, yeah.
Now they have a target on their back. And how do I, as a mom, back to the mom thing, because it always comes back to that, is how do I teach Griffin strength and grace and all the things he needs to do to float across the court and not care what anybody says, move past the call, all that kind of stuff. So again, it's a journey we're going to take y'all on with us, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be crazy too. I just want to give you guys a disclaimer. It's not going to be your little Sally Sue podcast. This is going to be real, raw, and another segment that we're going to talk about is raw feelings, because that's all you're going to get with us. There is no mask. There is no fence. Like I said, it's pretty real.
And we're going to own us. And this is as much for our audience as it is for us, because as we said before, it's okay not to be okay. And we want to put it out there so that the people that are in our circle can hopefully benefit from the authenticity and vulnerability of of the inside track in our life. So
Yeah, absolutely. Great way to put that.
we're really, really excited about what's next. And this is just a start. You know, we'll put out the list of things, topics that we're going to discuss, and at the end of the podcast we'll launch the book club that we're doing. So please jump onto the book club. Huge shout out to some friends of ours that own a shop in Ludlow, and we're gonna announce all that here in just a little bit. So
Yeah, we'll definitely do a podcast there so we can just kind of show them around.
yeah. What does anybody have any questions? Is there anything you want to know
or want to talk about for like the next segments and just different ideas?
If you could ask us any question, what would it be? Anybody? Because I think that's one of the things that we want to do is give you
just some insight
and access, and let's connect, because at the end of the day, we don't know everything, but let's talk about what's hard right now, and we'll go get the resources to get the answers.
Yeah,
you know, so that's part of what all this is about, is us finding the resources for all of us to be able to maneuver this frankly fucked up world we're living in.
Very fucked up.
Yeah. So
yeah, let's kind
I think my biggest challenge right now is prioritizing.
You?
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer the question for her. Yes.
Yeah.
She's not good at that.
Yeah.
She can do that with everybody else, everything else in her life, except for her. It's where it starts. Is with her.
Yeah. So if you have suggestions on how to do that, I'm an open book for sure. For
Honestly,
sure. What's your biggest challenge right now?
Challenges. I have more than one. I think right now is finding myself at 23 years old. Right?
Like what's next?
Yeah, I mean, I think I felt like at 16 I had it all figured out. Because at 16 you think you know everything. You asked me at 16 what I was going to be doing, and I would have told you playing at UConn. But that obviously didn't happen. And for you guys that do
And
know,
guess what?
that's
It's
okay. It is okay. Because now
It's
I found my way back to what I really love. And it's nice that we had literally just had this conversation last night. Going back to what I love for me, I think the whole reason I got into basketball was because, you know, my dad was the coach, right? So
A very good coach.
a very good coach, yes.
Very good coach.
But I also felt that basketball was our relationship, right? So that's another segment for another day. But I think right now what I'm trying to do is find where I fit in the basketball world, right? So being a coach, is that going to work for me? Being on television broadcasting basketball, will that work for me, right? So I think trying to find where in the basketball world I fit in. And honestly, just kind of being an adult kind of sucks. Shit's kind of ghetto.
Adulting does suck.
I don't want to do it, honestly, if I could be real. But finding the will to do it, definitely hard at 23. Because, you know, you come from a household that everything's given to you. She literally provided everything for us, and now trying to figure out how to do it on my own at 23, you know. There's 48-year-olds that don't know how to do it.
The Shauna said adulting is ghetto.
Like, hello. But yeah, and just life, man. Life has been life.
When she said, how do we do it at this stage? How do we do the self-care thing now? I don't know. Deshauna, I don't know.
I think it's different methods for everybody. I think one thing how to start with self-care is investing in you. Find something you really, really like, a book, a magazine, a show, a movie, whatever. And just, I think I like to call it elevating. I like to think sometimes that I live in the book, I live in the movie, I live in whatever moment. I think
time
it's my
to
favorite.
escape.
Yeah. I think that's another.
I think for me, right now, it's me stepping away to go to the gym.
Okay.
I know that sounds simple, but it's an easy thing to skip over. But what I have found is the aftermath of the workout is so valuable to me, and the way that I feel physically and mentally, that I just don't give that up for anybody.
And that's a step forward, right? Like, especially with her. Leanne 5 years ago, I think you say that a lot now. Is like Leanne 5 years ago was completely different than Leanne as a given now. From a daughter's perspective, obviously it's better. She's a better version of herself. Watching her come from nothing, literally nothing, to what she is now, crazy.
And I think one of the things you guys will learn as we go through this is
lashes. Hey, look, lashes are very important. Okay, listen, Lucy. I told her today I was not.
we got to get Brooke on here to talk about some lashes.
I was not going on camera unless my lashes were done. So I get it.
Yeah,
for sure.
But as crazy, and we laugh about that, but if that's all you can do for that day, make sure you do it and make sure you do it well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Give yourself that 5 or 10 minutes to put them on. Like, just nobody gets to stop you. And I think that's the key, is finding that space and time where it's just you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what my workouts have become for me, is just the ability to step away. I can't be on my phone. Nobody can get to me. It's just me and the gruesome workout.
Yeah.
But it's everything for me right now. And the consistency, Deshauna.
That's another thing I think we lack is life gets so crazy sometimes. We just are like, fuck it, I don't feel like going to work out. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But, pushing ourselves. I think that's another thing right now is we're learning how to do is push ourselves, right? Like, I hate getting up at 6:30 every morning. Hate it. I'm not, you ask her, I was a noon to 2 o'clock afternoon girl, one waking up till day and like staying up till 2:30 in the morning. And now I can't. Now I have to stay consistent on my morning routine to get shit done.
Yeah. I think the other thing, if I can put out there, the one thing I've started doing, that people kept saying, you have to do this, you have to do this, is journaling.
Yes, writing out your feelings and
Writing it, if you put it on paper, it's twofold. It releases it from here and here. And for me, it's bringing things to fruition.
Yeah.
It's it's putting it in the universe. Which, can you write it down?
Yeah.
The universe has your back. That's another book we'll do as a group. But as we round things out here, I wanna tell you guys, one of our goals here is to bring you good content, and also highlight.
Before you do that, there is one thing that talking about the book club.
Yeah.
She had just mentioned a journal. There's a thing called a shadow journal. I don't know if you've seen it or heard of it.
Mine was just delivered in the mail.
I think that would be another cool thing to do. Is, we all can get one, and it's just, I think it's it's writing about your flaws, because we all have them. Writing about your past, because we all have a past. And although it's really kind of a darker kind of book to bring out the real dark emotions that we all.
But if you can get them out, it's such a huge benefit.
Yeah.
And the shadow journal, I got mine, I think, off of TikTok.
Yeah, literally, you can get it off Amazon for like $9. It's a really.
They're
cool
$5 or
thing.
$10,
Yeah.
and it's worth it. So if you're not journaling, that would be my one takeaway from today is, Alexis, when you go in the bathroom to do your lashes, take your journal with you. And even if it's 2 thoughts, like, my stomach hurts and I want to go back to bed and I don't know if I can do this today, write it down.
Yeah,
it's
all
okay.
emotions.
Yeah. So there's that. I think that we are on this journey to help everybody we come in contact with, and to do it for ourselves. This is a selfish, I guess, act of us being able to
Yes,
be unapologetically us. So,
and I think also, like
yes,
you said,
it is, Alexis.
It's more for us than it is for you guys. We don't really have a lot of people that we can talk our life to. Like, this is an outlet for
But
us.
we have a lot of people who think they know us,
Right.
which was hard for me to recognize. Like, you don't really know what's inside, but you know what? We're going to show you. So that's what we're doing here. What I was going to say before is Lexi and I are going to be traveling around the city to different spots. We'll announce where we're going to be, because we want you to come be with us. We want you to come have coffee with us or breakfast or be involved in the podcasts and things like that. So we're going to announce our locations.
Probably a week before our episodes, we will decide Obviously, you guys follow us on social media, so we'll get those locations out and ready to go
Yep.
on our next.
Our next location will be at
Yeah.
Scarlet Rose for
Mhm.
sure. We're gonna for sure be at there. Jeremy and Autumn Spencer are good friends of ours. They just opened in Ludlow, Kentucky. It is a phenomenal bookstore and boutique. I just went there and bought so many things, cute little bags. I got clothes. You gotta go. You gotta go see Scarlet Rose. It's worth your time. And then we have already chosen our first book, so we want you guys to go on this. This
Haven, that's her
journey.
name.
Oh no!
I didn't know her name was Haven.
I feel like I already know her.
Oh my god. 3 weeks, Alexis, that is so soon.
3 weeks is like crazy. Hold on, let me be a little careful with the camera here. Hang on. Here we go. So for our first book club that we're gonna do, we are gonna read Homecoming. This is what it looks like. Can you guys see that? Homecoming. And at Scarlet Rose, you can go online.
Look at her middle name. I'm crying.
Oh, good. We can go get things embroidered now.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you put in the group chat Homecoming? It's by Dr. Tima Bryant. She was just on the Mel Robbins podcast. And it is all about self-care. And
What's her name?
Tima, T-H. Why can't I make this?
Because you're not in the actual thread.
I was.
No, now try and type it. Is that her?
Yeah. Oh.
Go back.
Oh, here it is. Thema Bryant. She's a PhD. It's overcoming fear and trauma and reclaiming your whole authentic self, which is right on time for what we're trying to do. At Scarlet Rose in Ludlow, they bought the books for us, so they're there. And you can go online to through Facebook if you want to purchase it. And if you purchase it and want me to pick them up for you, I can do that. I'm there way too often. So let me know if you want me to do that. And huge shout out. This is our first podcast.
Yes.
We had 4 people on, so we're grateful for all of you. Thank you for joining us today, and we will announce the next one here shortly.
Thank you, guys. It was so great for you guys to be on here, and I'm super excited to continue this.
Yep. Cheers.